Good afternoon, I'm Rob Boskamp, and you're listening to South Texas Midday. Thank you for joining me on this Wednesday, August 13th. Corpus Christi City Council yesterday discussed a motion to prepare an agreement for purchasing water rights to over 22,000 acres in San Patricio County for $169.4 million.
Water right purchase would be revenue bonds, and infrastructure would be revenue bonds. So over a 30-year period, water rate payers would pay for this. In addition, we'll be looking for state and federal grants as well.
And I've been a proponent of just buying the water and banking it. So $169 million. Current interest rate right now would be?
Well, the last revenue debt issuance was about 4.6 for us for the city of Corpus Christi. The SWIFT loans are the last 3.4%.
So 30 years in debt for $169 million, just if we banked it, which we have the right to do. I'm not saying I disagree with it. I just want to make sure that we know we're issuing debt for this.
Right. We would issue debt for the water right purchase.
That was City Manager Peter Zanoni and City Council Member at Large Roland Barrera discussing the agreement. The project includes a 24 million gallons per day water right with reverse osmosis, which would increase rates by $10.27 per month for the average user. The Nueces River Authority presented a $100 million desalination project aiming to deliver water by 2029 with 38 million gallons per day already reserved. That project faces challenges in securing permits and financing as council debated feasibility and cost implications. In that same meeting yesterday, the Barisi Village Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone 6 project moved forward after council members voted to approve the project and financing plan. Despite the approval, some council members voiced concerns over a lack of a firm start date for development. The Barisi Village project was first proposed in 2012 and looks to transform the former country club into an Italian-style village featuring restaurants, shops, housing, and a golf course. City Council also approved an agreement to partner with the Boston Group LLC for improvements to Wranosky Park at 422 Graham Road. The city will pay $111,000 from the city's Parks Capital Improvement Fund, and the Boston Group will contribute the construction labor for the project. Improvements will include a parking lot extension and sidewalk relocation, among other improvements. The park was chosen due to a deteriorating infrastructure that could not have been addressed without aid. And that's not the only park getting improvements. The west side has some big changes on the way. Spencer Chiok has more.
Those looking to walk the new Harbor Bridge will soon have an easier time. After nearly a decade, upgrades to parks and facilities on the west side of Corpus Christi are closer than ever to being complete after the City Council approved the project contract to JE Construction Services. Washington Coles Park will soon feature an amphitheater and about 200 parking spaces, along with other upgrades. More upgrades are also coming to TC Ayers Park, Hillcrest Park, Ben Garza Park, and the North Beach Trailhead. Hiking and bike trails will also be receiving connections. The project's funding comes from Parks Bond 2014, Metropolitan Planning Organization's reimbursement, and a prior certificate of obligations. The expected opening date is September 2026. For KEDT News, I'm Spencer Chiok.
Tropical Storm Erin is expected to strengthen to a hurricane later this week as it passes by Puerto Rico. Most models forecast the storm turning upward into the Atlantic Ocean, but some see the storm continuing onward to the U.S. mainland. Hurricane season historically peaks around mid-September. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration predicts 13 to 19 tropical storms this year, including 3 to 5 that could become major hurricanes. Nueces County officials say construction of the new Bob Hall Pier is on schedule with plans for it to open by the end of this year. County Commissioner Brent Chesney told KRAS News the new pier will be longer, taller, and built to hurricane standards, an improvement from its predecessor. The original pier was torn down after sustaining damage from Hurricane Hannah in 2020. The City of Victoria will hold a special City Council meeting at 6 p.m. tonight at City Hall at 105 West Juan Lynn Street. The city is expected to provide a progress report on the work of the subcommittee formed to review the city's water system after last month's boil water notice. At last week's City Council meeting, Mayor Dwayne Crocker said staff had started making operational changes such as more frequent testing. City Council meetings are broadcast live online at victoriatx.gov and on YouTube. You can find them searching at Victoria Meetings. This past Monday, the Goliad County Commissioners Court unanimously approved a contract with the Texas Historical Commission that will transfer ownership of the Fannin Monument and surrounding county-owned land near the Presidio la Bahía State Historic Site, including the Angel of Goliad Plaza, to the state for $500,000. The Texas Historical Commission, as part of the agreement, will spend about $1.2 million toward restoring Goliad County's historic courthouse. In state news, the Texas Senate still met yesterday for the special session and passed a variety of bills through the chamber. That's despite the fact that with many House Democrats still out of state, the Texas House doesn't have a quorum present. That means no bill that moved through the Senate yesterday reached Governor Abbott's desk by the time the special came to a close, something House and Senate leaders say will happen this Friday. The first bill to hit the floor was Senate Bill 4, legislation containing the controversial Republican-backed plan to redraw Texas congressional districts and inspired Democrats' original walkout. Senator Jose Menendez, a San Antonio Democratic, asked his fellow senators to instead take up flood-related bills first.
So I just thought maybe we could hear them all together at the very front end and start this day on a positive note, helping take care of Texans.
But his request was denied, leaving several Democratic state senators to leave. Senate Bill 4 ultimately passed 19-2 with essentially no debate. The bill now heads to the House, but the aforementioned quorum break will stop it from moving any further. For years, courts and law enforcement advocates have agreed that police officers should be protected from some lawsuits because their jobs are inherently dangerous. That principle is known as qualified immunity, but critics say that doctrine unfairly shields police from legal consequences in cases where just one choice could have prevented tragedy. As KERA's Toluwani Osabamuwo reports, the tension between those ideas is especially apparent when people try to sue police over high-speed chases.
It's been almost 4 years since Janice Jackson lost her husband. Michael Wayne Jackson was walking to his Houston barbershop when a police officer driving between 80 and 100 miles per hour lost control, swerved onto the sidewalk, and killed him. The officer was on his way to assist with the pursuit of 5 teenage carjacking suspects. Janice recounts calling his phone after hours of not hearing from him.
It kept ringing. And so I said, no, I don't know why you're not answering the phone. Pick up the phone. You say we was all going out to eat, not knowing that he was dead.
Jackson and 3 other women who lost their loved ones in Houston police chases sued the city in 2022. After some initial success in the trial court, a federal appeals court opened the door for Houston to avoid liability through governmental immunity. It's meant to shield governments from civil liability for officers' actions unless they acted outside their discretion or in bad faith. And legal experts say it's often difficult for plaintiffs to overcome. Claire Andreessen is a professor with the South Texas College of Law.
So I would imagine if I'm like, say, City of Houston, every single time I'm going to be arguing that my employee would be shielded because they acted within their discretion and in good faith.
It's up to the plaintiff to prove whether governmental immunity should be waived, but often an officer's behavior has to be especially egregious for that to happen. UT Law professor Jennifer Lauren says that's an even harder case to make when someone's leading police on a high-speed chase.
Use of force against individuals who are to any degree resisting the commands or physical restraints of police is frequently found by courts to occupy what the Supreme Court has called the hazy middle ground of constitutional law.
Qualified immunity can also be an outright deterrent against police chase lawsuits. A suspect fleeing Dallas police crashed into Anthony and Dee Baker Welch's car in January, immediately killing Anthony and later Dee. Their family sued both the suspect and the city of Dallas over the crash, but they dropped the suit just 6 months later. Their attorney, Quentin Brogdon, says it's because state law has become increasingly deferential to police officers and their employers.
I have come to the opinion that it is nearly impossible, if not impossible, for a victim in a police pursuit chase at least to prevail.
He points to a pair of police chase lawsuits the Texas Supreme Court took up last year. The uninvolved drivers sued the cities of Houston and Austin after police officers from each city crashed into their cars during separate police chases. But the High Court ruled the officers were negligent at most, not reckless, and a plaintiff has to prove recklessness to overcome governmental immunity. Those cases reinforce the high bar a person has to clear to successfully sue over a police chase crash that was no fault of their own.
So a lot of the pictures that I brought today that my daughter found. Kylie went and found the picture.
Jackson is now the only plaintiff left in her lawsuit, but she says she'll continue to fight.
You can't sue for everything, but what you can sue, ought to be able to sue for if you take somebody's loved one, if you kill somebody's loved one. You taking somebody's loved one who was working and taking care of their families.
The one thing Jackson hopes a lawsuit win could pay for, her daughter's dreams. Jackson says the teen and her father were two peas in a pod. I'm Toluwani Osibemolo in Houston.
In sports, the Corpus Christi Hooks dropped a 2-1 contest on the road yesterday to the Amarillo Sod Poodles. Nick Swanson threw for 5.1 innings of one-run ball for the second straight start, striking out 7 against 1 hit and 2 walks. Patrick Halligan, who permitted 1 home run and a walk over 1.2 innings, suffered the loss. Will Bush belted a 2-out home run to left field in the 5th to put the Hooks on the board. And tomorrow, after South Texas Midday, is another episode of KEDT's Community Focus podcast. In the latest episode, the League of Women Voters Corpus Christi area will host the Women's Equality Day dinner on August 26th at Holiday Inn Airport. The dinner and silent auction is the commemoration by the organization of the historic day in 1920 when American women won the right to vote.
Last year we had the biggest year ever, and so we're looking to top that. We've got people working fast and furious to try to sell our tables and get our ticket sales out there, and so we are looking forward to a really great event. Hopefully we'll break the record again.
That was the organization's president, Alice Upshaw Hawkins. The league's director of media relations, Nick Jimenez, also joined me earlier today. We'll have that full interview for you tomorrow. In the meantime, you can get your tickets before August 16th. For more information about tickets as well as the silent auction, visit lwvcctx.clubexpress.com. And that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the way.